Hello, YouTube. Today in the Naughty Librarian, I am going to review like so many books. Pretty much all of 2025 so far. I have just been doing Anne Rice content. I've been recapping episodes. And at the same time, I have been reading a lot of books. Usually I would do like a monthly recap of what I've been reading. And now I have like 3 months worth of stuff to review today. So go ahead and grab a drink and get comfortable because like this is going to be a lot of books to review. As always, I break them down into categories. So why don't we go ahead and start? I guess the smallest category is just like books that aren't romances, because mainly I have been reading romances all year and I have 3 of them. And going back to the very first book I read in 2025, The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. And you know what? Surprise hit! I am obsessed with this. It's so good. 5 stars. What a way to start my reading year. This is a cozy fantasy, so if you like books like Legends and Lattes, you would totally get into this one. Basically, we're following this woman, and she's kind of a nomad. She's a fortune teller, and she can see the future, but she doesn't want to like test fate, because sometimes knowing the future doesn't make it better. So she's a teller of small fortunes. She only tells like little tiny bits of the future, like, oh, you're gonna buy a green dress, or your fence, you should oil it because the gate's gonna break, things like that, little ones. And along the way, she meets other people while traveling, and they kind of form like a found family with each other. And eventually there is magical consequences in this series, and they all kind of, the power of friendship will save the day. And it's exactly what I needed in this year, 2025, because oh my gosh, everything's on fire. Let's just read a book about like friendship and magic, you know? Like this is exactly what I needed. 5 stars. Probably gonna be my best books of the year list. I followed that book up with the second one I read in 2025, which is We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. And you know what? Another banger right out the gate. 5 stars. Might be on my best books of the year list. I was killing it in January. Like I was reading good book after good book after good book. So this one has a woman named Amy. She's a bodyguard, maybe assassin-y kind of bodyguard. And she is currently bodyguarding a very famous author who has a death threat against her at the moment. And then things go wild and everything goes out of the control, and the only person she can really trust to call in and help her is her father-in-law, who was like an old detective, and he's very good at solving mysteries, and oh boy, do they have a huge mystery they need to solve together. Very cheeky, funny, cool mystery, action-packed, like loved it. I don't know why I haven't read more things by Richard Osman. I need to, because obviously this is just the style I like. Perfect. Loved it. 5 stars. Spoiler alert, I read Angel Time by Anne Rice. I will be putting out a full recap video on this. It is the last like series I'm going to read from Anne Rice. There's one more book after that, and they're both going to get recaps. So I won't say anything about it so much in this video because I will have a full recap video, but I would say the best way to describe it is meh. I didn't like it. There you go. It had its moments, I guess, but like overall, I was not into this so much. So far, I've only read this. I actually haven't filmed the recap yet, but I didn't just buy a couple new bottles of wine, so who knows what's gonna happen when I recap this. It might be great, so we will see. But yeah, overall, meh, I think is the best way to describe it. And the last non-romance book I've read so far this year is Picnic at Hanging Rock. Do I love this book? No, I do not. I thought it was like remarkably dull. Basic idea here is there's a bunch of girls at an all-girls school, and they all go on a picnic, and a few of them are like, we're gonna go hiking, and then they are never seen again, and no one knows what happened to them. They do eventually find one of the girls that went missing, and she has amnesia. She doesn't know what happened. No one can ever find these girls again. And spoiler alert for kind of the ending of the book, or lack thereof. It's been out for a long time. I think the time for spoilers is over, but like you never find out what happened to these girls. It just kind of ends. And I have learned that that ending is very controversial. People hate it. However, I think it's brilliant. That was my favorite part of this book, because sometimes a mystery will always be a mystery. There's a lot of things you'll never know what really happened because all the people involved are unfortunately missing. So I actually like the ending of the book. That was my favorite part. But overall, meh. Like, it's fine, I guess. It is what it is. We read it for Blades and Body Strippers Book Club. There's a whole discussion video on it already, and it's fine. I don't know. I don't really have like a rage boner about it. It just is what it is. It's a classic. I'm happy I read it, but I didn't really like it. All right, from here on out, we're just doing romances because that's all I have been wanting to read all year delicious like rom-coms. So let's start with my one historical romance I have, which is A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke by Adriana Herrera. This is the conclusion to the Las Leones series, and I liked this one. I didn't say I would love it because it was good but not great. So I gave it 4 stars in the end. I did really enjoy it, but it is kind of a heavier subject matter. This is a Victorian era, and we're following Aurora. She's kind of like the serious friend of the friend group, and also she is a doctor, and she is running an underground women's clinic in the Victorian era where women were property, and like, yikes, they couldn't get medical care. So it's eerie, kind of how it mirrors today in a lot of ways. But we're following an underground women's clinic, and Aurora ends up meeting this guy who's a duke. However, this duke is also a person of color because his father married his Caribbean mother and had him fully in wedlock, and now he is a firstborn son, and like that is causing problems with the aristocracy because racism. So we have a lot of heavier material going on here, but it is a good romance. I do like them together. I like that they had a fight for what they wanted in life and for what they wanted with each other. So overall, I liked it. I didn't love it, but yeah, I think it is really good. So if you're into that kind of vibe, I think this would be good for you, but just be aware. It's gonna be a little bit of a downer at times. So next romance category is contemporary romance, and I have 3 of them. I have not 1, but 2 books by Tessa Bailey I've read. So I read The Au Pair Affair and Dream Girl Drama, and this is books 2 and 3 of this Hot Shot series she's been writing. It's sports romance. This is a hockey player and his au pair, and they kind of fall in love with each other. It's a bit of an age gap, but not a huge one. And then in Dream Girl Drama, you have another hockey player, they're teammates, and he meets his dream girl. Their parents are getting married to each other. They're going to be step siblings. Although they are adults and not related to each other and haven't been related to each other, their parents just happen to marry each other. I don't know why it's a big deal. It's not like they grew up together as siblings. They didn't know each other until like 6 months ago. Like, what? Anyway, I'm getting too involved here. Like, I liked both of these. I don't think I loved them, but I think they both got 4 stars because I did rather enjoy them. As in any Tessa Bailey book I read, because I literally buy everything she writes. It's gonna be funny, it's gonna be smutty, I'm gonna love the characters, I'm gonna root for their romances, it's gonna give me exactly what I want to get out of it. And that's the thing I love about Tessa Bailey, is that she delivers. Every book, every book I get from her, it's gonna be funny and smutty, and I'm gonna like the characters. Boom, every time. Knocks him out of the park consistently. Love it. I also read Scythe and Sparrow by Brynne Weaver. This is the end of the Ruinous Love trilogy. And the basic idea here is that this is a serial killer romance series, which sounds bad, but trust me, it's okay. I would say it's more morally gray than it is like generically evil, because yes, they're serial killers. However, they are killing bad guys. They're not killing nice people. So it's, gray area here. I don't really feel bad about it that they're killing bad people. And I can't speak for all of them, but I would assume a lot of serial killers have a rough childhood, a rough past. A lot of these characters are also dealing with that, and now they're in like relationships, and those difficulties don't necessarily go away just because they're in a relationship or they're serial killing people. They have to work through that, and it's kind of nice that she also doesn't trauma dump on the page. We never get like a flashback where it's gratuitously violent or disturbing towards our main characters. Things are alluded to, and I really liked it because I don't think it's necessary to trauma dump that in a character that we already know is kind of hurting. So I really like that aspect of it. Also, surprisingly, these are hilarious. I know I just laid on a bunch of heavy things that were happening in this, but it's like seriously so funny. Laugh out loud funny. Like I tabbed all the times I laughed out loud, and there are several tabs in this book. And it's incredibly spicy. Like I would say probably 4 out of 5 spicies. And I like the characters, and I want to root for them, and I want them to like do well and like get over their past traumas, even though that means serial killing people. I don't know what this says about me as a person, but I really like the series and I really like this book. It's probably my least favorite of the series, so I ended up giving it 4 stars instead of 5 stars, but it's still really good. It's a solid book. All right, so last category here is paranormal romance / romantasy, and I have 7 of them to go over. All I've been wanting to do this year is read paranormal rom-coms. It's like the vibe I'm in and I'm living for it, and I don't want to change that. I'm having a great time. I think I'll start with the only romantasy I have in this category, which is Bloodguard by Ceci Robson. And here's the thing, like, I have read paranormal rom-coms from Ceci Robson before, years ago, and I loved them. So I was like, oh my gosh, she's doing romantasy? Yes. Also, Sprayed Edges? What? This is gorgeous. And like, low-key, I kind of hated this, if I'm being honest. I went into this rooting for this book to do well because, like, I love Ceci Robson and yikes was this bad. However, I do think it's a one and done. I guess she could write more books in this world if she so chose to, but it works as a standalone. It's a magical kind of gladiator era world, and like there's like the noble fae, and then there's like gladiators, and honestly, this book is supposed to be, you know, a romantasy. It's fantasy romance, but it reads as torture porn most of the time. It is just relentlessly sad and relentlessly punishing towards these characters, to the point where I'm like, oh my god, just give them a fucking break for a minute. So it's a rough book to get through. Like, it was a slog because it was this constant misery, and I'm like, yikes, did someone tell a joke? Just one. Like, we need to lighten the mood at least a little, and it never really happened. I think I ended up giving it like 2 stars because I guess it had its moments and it's Ceci Robson. So those 2 things it gets 2 stars for. But overall, yikes, I didn't like this. It's straight up torture porn. Do not recommend. Moving on to more of like a sci-fi paranormal romance, I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com by Kimberly Lemming. And I think the title really tells you everything you need to know about this book, but it's Kimberly Lemming. I pre-ordered this. I needed it in my life because Kimberly Lemming writes like the zaniest rom-coms you'll ever read, and usually they're like fantasy. This one is sci-fi because it's aliens, but like, I love them. You're gonna have a good time, and that's all I'm really looking for here. This one in particular is like Kimberly Lemming took The Wizard of Oz and Ice Planet Barbarians and mashed them together into an alien thruple romance. And that also includes dinosaurs and a talking lion. So yeah, it's a lot of things going on here, but like, it works. They're gonna write more books in this series because there are more characters they need to pair off with. They've already introduced a couple that they could do for book 2. I will buy it as soon as I hear it's coming out. I will pre-order that shit because yes, these books are hilarious, they're smutty, and they're fun. I rarely do a reread of a book I've already read, but I made an exception for A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley. I loved this book the first time I read it. However, I did have it from the library, so I wasn't able to tab my own copy of it. So it was a blessing in disguise that I reread this because now I have a tabbed copy because my other 2 books of this series are already tabbed, and this was a buddy read. I talked my friends' ears off about this book for so long that they said they would read it, and I said, okay, I'll reread it with you. I don't know, I was very nerve-wracked about it. Like, what if they hate it and then they don't like me anymore? I don't know. I think they liked it just fine, so fingers crossed that stands. But I love this book. If you guys aren't on the Sarah Hawley train, you need to get on it. She's an auto-buy author for me. This is a paranormal rom-com. It has a witch and a demon, and then zany fake dating antics ensue. Right now there are 3 books in this Glimmer Falls series. I think she'll write more in it eventually, but right now she's doing like a dark romantasy series, which is complete opposite of this. But in the Glimmer Falls series, I think book 2 is actually my favorite of it, but book 1, solid start. I loved it immediately. It made me read everything else I could get my hands on from Sarah Hawley. So yes, definitely recommend if you just want like a fun, smutty, good time with witches and demons. So the last books on this list are all part of the same series because I read Wolf Gone Wild by Juliet Cross. Jen, Book Refuge here on YouTube, has been telling me to read this book for years, and I finally did it. it on a whim, and I was like, oh my gosh, Jen, you were correct. I loved this book so much. This is the Stay a Spell series. It's actually complete. There are 6 sisters. There's a lot of books in this series, and I have read 4 of them. I just couldn't stop reading them. There's 6 witch sisters, and then they're all pairing off with other things. Like there's a werewolf boyfriend and a vampire boyfriend and another werewolf boyfriend, and there's all these other paranormal creatures as well. And they live in New Orleans, like amongst the regular people as well. And I am obsessed with it. And they have a spin-off series that just came out, and I bought that book too, but I haven't read it yet. So yeah, I'm 4 books deep of a 7-book series. One of them was a novella. So Wolf Gone Wild, it's a witch and a werewolf. Loved it. It made me like get all the rest of the books in the series immediately. I didn't even try it one at a time. I bought one and then I was like, I'm buying all of them. Next book in the series, Don't Hex and Drive. This is a witch and a vampire. Love this one as well. So much fun. Book 3, Witches Get Stitches. This is a witch and another werewolf. And like, I love a good werewolf story. So I had so much fun with this one as well. However, I will say this one will upset you with how dumb these characters are at times about each other. It's just like, oh my God, I want to throw them in a closet so they can start mating already. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here because I also read like the book that came after that, which is a series of novellas, Walking in a Witchy Wonderland. I think it's like Christmassy related books, but it's more like wintry related, I would say. It's not necessarily Christmas all the time, but it's just a bunch of little short stories within this universe, like epilogues essentially for couples we've already met, kind of like a prologue for the next couple in this series. So I have 3 more books in it. Very excited to get to those. It's just there's been other books I have had to read in between, but yeah, I like binged the hell out of this series. Cannot recommend enough. It's funny, it's smutty, it's paranormal, it's giving me all I need in my life right now. All right, so that was like a lot of books I just reviewed because I have read a lot of books this year. And you know what? I have been taking it easy. I haven't been forcing myself to read if I don't want to. So it's fewer books than I normally would have read, but it's still a bunch of books, and I'm happy with that. I'm enjoying reading again because last year it was really difficult for me. I like hated reading at times because I was forcing myself. This year, I'm just gonna vibe with it. I'm having a good time. I'm vibing. I'm gonna read what I like. So far so good. I have been reading pretty much banger after banger. A few of them were not so good, but the vast majority I really liked. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of book genre, I guess, are you really vibing with this year? Like, is it paranormal rom-coms or murder mysteries? What have you? Like, what are you just wanting to read a lot of? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. If you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And if you want cool exclusive content, including early access to videos and a book club, you can consider becoming a channel member or a patron. Links for that are in the description down below. And on that note, I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.